so many great plays that coaches run.
You're taking the ball out.
The idea here is to kind of create some chaos in the paint, and then we're at the end of the day trying to get the ball to Ja.
A gutty Grizzly win.
So this is one of our pet actions. We run a guard-to-guard screen here.
That's a good play. Maybe we should do that one again.
Near the arc. Green may angle something toward the rim. He gives to Embiid. He'll turn. Got off the shot and hit it. Oh my! There's gonna count the bucket.
This is in the game play for us that we won, beat Toronto in the playoffs with.
George, this is you. Danny, you're taking the ball out.
It's a little misdirection. There's two actions on this play, actually. The first action on this play is for Tyrese Maxey to roll over the top and go to the basket because he was having a great game. And so we really felt that they would lock and trail him. We told the inbounder you have to trust the pass. If Tyrese is open, that's a point guard, but with his jumping ability, he would be open for a lob pass, and we were going to throw it if he was open. But when they put Van Fleet under the basket, we actually knew that part wouldn't be there. We ran the second option. It's great when you have more than multiple options on the play. Then you have a chance for something to work. The second part of that is Joel fakes the pick, and then Tobias picks Joel. And that part of Joel, that brush screen that you see Joel fakes, we felt like his defender would back up a little bit, which would allow Tobias to get a solid pick. Toronto switches everything, and we knew that. So we know because of that switch, Joel would be able to get on top of the defender. Joel's size, we knew we can get the ball to Joel. I can tell you before this play started, we knew Joel was going to be open because if you watch, Van Fleet gets and stands under the baskets. He's the guy that should be guarding the guy out of bounds. So that allowed us to have a clear pass directly to Joel with no defender in front of the passer. We didn't know if Joel was going to make the shot. I mean, you never know that. There's so many great plays that coaches run, and the guy doesn't make the shot, so it doesn't look like a great play. But we absolutely knew we were going to get a shot on this play. The funny part of the play was James was talking to me about another play, and I told him, no, this one will be good. It will work, trust me. And that's why when you see James, he's pointing at me right away when it happens.
Zubac and Jackson who will inbound baseline far side. 8 to shoot for the Clippers. Jackson looking inside, bounce past the man under the basket, bodying up on Crowder, pump fake a couple times and squeeze it through in the foul.
So right here, this is an old play we called high school, and I got it from Doc in Boston. Austin Rivers high school team in Orlando used to run this play where 3 guys line across, 1 guy's behind, and all 3 guys break at the same time, and the 1 guy just walks down the middle of the lane for a layup. And Doc called it high school, and so I stole it from Doc, and it's been pretty good for us, even with LeBron in Cleveland. And right here you see T-Man got a layup. I mean, I guess people don't expect to see it coming, and I think it's just an easy play that you just kind of line the guys up, and guys break, so everybody wants to try to pay attention to their own man, and then the guy behind just kind of walks down the middle of the lane and gets a layup every single time. But, Doc taught me a lot. He was my mentor. He gave me my first opportunity to be a coach. And so I learned a lot from Doc and took a lot of things from him as well.
It's going to be single coverage. They will not bring a double team. They've started every game this season. Green, and here is Poole with the defender there and a 3.
And so this is one of our pet actions. We run a guard-to-guard screen here with Poole and Wiggins. We love this post game with a little, we call it a gaggle action. You see Wiggins cutting down the lane towards the hoop, and that kind of creates some space for Jordan to come off the screen to knock down the 3. And you see we have our 5-man Kevon Looney enter because that brings his defender Jokic out to the perimeter. Jokic doesn't really want to go out there. All big guys want to stay near the rim. So one of the reasons we like to have our 5-man enter and then set that split screen is that we know the opposing 5-man is going to be camped in the lane.
Him too after he's getting over that ankle injury.
Garland upstairs, and there's Allen again. Oh boy!
Yeah, this is our double drag. A lot of teams call it different names, but what we're trying to do is early in the clock create as much separation as we possibly can. You see here, Darius Garland is one of the best pick-and-roll players in the game. Jared Allen, is one of the best finishers in the game. You see Darius come off to his right hand, which is his strong hand. Jared Allen gets out early to create the 2-on-1, and a lot of times teams' defenses aren't set. But it also, you can see Jarrett releasing out of there early. It puts the big guy in a difficult situation. He doesn't know if he needs to stop Darius or if he needs to get out with Jared on the lob. Because of Darius's threat to shoot it from 3 or get downhill, a lot of times teams will stay with a 2-on-1 defensively on Darius, and that creates the opening for Jared. And obviously Darius is great at making that pass to him.
You're going to force the Grizzlies to have to catch this ball going back towards half court, not anything winding or willing to the rim where they got a free shot to go.
Brooks, trigger man. Brooks, toss in. Morant drives. Morant. Oh, it's good! 1 second left.
So this play that we're going to look at is obviously one of the biggest plays that we had all last season. End of game play, Game 5 at home against Minnesota. Series is tied 2-2. And nothing better than having the last possession with 3.7 seconds left. You know, this is a play, a variation of a play that we've utilized throughout the season to win ball games. We actually used a similar play at Phoenix earlier in the year. The idea here is to kind of create some chaos in the paint, create some misdirection, maybe confuse the defense a little bit. Are they switching, off-ball screens? Are they staying with their own? And then we're, at the end of the day, trying to get the ball to Ja. So when we get here, Kyle's cutting through, Ty's cutting through, Des setting up a screen for Ja. And the next look, is if the defender doesn't gamble here and give Ja a free, catch, is for Dylan and Ja to interchange. And that's going to create another opportunity for the defense to maybe get confused. Are they switching? Are they staying with their own? And hopefully with just that slight hesitation from the defense, Ja's able to slip the crack, attack downhill. And if you'll see, he'll end up having 2 options. He'll have a layup, which obviously he's going to knock down to secure a huge victory for us, or he'll have his teammate for a dump off. Something that we talk about a lot as a coaching staff are what are the types of actions that we run, whether that's first plays, that's after timeouts, that's an end of game play, actions that we have a lot of trust in. Is it pick and rolls? Is it something that involves misdirection? Is it an off-ball screen that involves cutting to the basket? Is it setting up a shot for one of your best 3-point shooters? What are the things that we run routinely that have a lot of success? But when you get into the playoffs, you got to disguise things a little bit differently. Going back and run the same play over and over again, teams are going to scout it, be better prepared for it. So this one, a little bit different than the one that we ran against Phoenix, which obviously led to a Ja layup and a big finish for a victory. We disguised a little bit differently with our initial alignment, some of our cuts, but at the end of the day, creating a little bit of confusion with a 2-man handoff between Ja and Dylan, allowed Ja to get downhill and finish strongly at the rim. So always want to try to come up with variations for those actions that we really have a lot of success with.
Distance shooting of Robinson over the last 3 seasons.
Look, it's been a huge emphasis in the league. The analytics talk about getting more threes.
Okay, we're watching one of these plays where we play out of the elbow action, and Kyle Lowry is throwing the ball to P.J. Tucker. We're doing a little bit of a misdirection, curl, pop action on the weak side, but really it's just a decoy there to set up a back screen to be able to get the lob for Bam. And as I play this, you have to have a lot of high IQ players to do this. Tuck was great for us because he had good timing and patience at the elbow, and also a very underrated passer. Most teams were really concerned about Duncan Robinson coming off on screens, so we used him as a decoy. Instead of coming off on the screen, we just had him go to the basket and then set the rip screen for Bam. And PJ just puts it right on target, and Bam was able to do what he does extremely well, is elevate to where nobody else can go, catch, and finish. That's a good play. Maybe we should do that one again. Patience is a part of it. It's a timing play. That was a after timeout play, and a good defense can mess up the timing of a play, and you'd have to go to option 2 or 3, which we luckily didn't have to do on that play.
Gone on a 21-7 run. Get it in for Towns. Back from McLaughlin. The bounce to the outside. The jumper. Good! It's Edwards!
So this is the sidelines out of bounds play that we ran at the end of Game 5 in Memphis in our playoff series, which was, as anyone who watched knows, it was a crazy series. This is a wrinkle off of a play that we run quite a bit, and we wanted to get the ball into Anthony's hands, who was having a great game. What's key to all these plays is the execution, the timing and the screening and the movement. Also wanted to make sure that we got the ball into Jordan McLaughlin's hand, just because we know he could get to the heart of the defense, and everybody moved in great concert with the ball. Our approach to sideline out of bounds plays is that we don't deviate too much, We practice this stuff all the time, and we rehearse our late game situation.
His third straight game with right knee inflammation. We think we'll see former Pacer Thaddeus Young. He played really well the other night in Milwaukee. Torrey Craig for three.
Good to see that for him.
Well, this is an action that we run versus zone defense. It's unique. It's a European type action. It's an action that we saw the Utah Jazz run a few years ago. We picked it up, and now we're seeing a lot of teams in the league running it. It's unique because you have two small guys crisscrossing and screening the inside of the two guys at the top of the 2-3 zone. And then the ideal thing is that it creates a gap. The point guard goes in there, and all of a sudden he has a little runner, a lob to the rim, or an easy kick to the corner for three. It's good to run because it's simple. It has some unique actions to it with small guys screening small guys. And it has the ability to make reads and to do counters that are intuitive things that don't require a lot of thinking. You know, you let the athlete and be a reactor and not a thinker. And that's why I think this play has become very popular in the league.
8 for 23 shooting. Has 24 points. They've gotten a great game out of Finney-Smith, who has been the difference for the Mavericks. Booker for three. Great play after the timeout.
So this was a BOB at this point. Like, the game really isn't going our way. It's only an 11-point game, but it felt more like 20. When you're in a BOB situation like that and a team calls a timeout or there's a dead ball timeout, you don't know if the opponent's going to come out in the zone. And so for me, I had to try to get the ball in the hands of a guy who's not afraid of those moments. DeAndre did a really good job of owning his space, and Cam Johnson has the ball high, which is what we teach. And then D.A. does a really good job of getting the ball to Book when he needed it. It was not a play that we'd run before. It was just something that we needed. It was off of a play or particular framework that we have, but it was a little wrinkle that we used and gave us a little bit of momentum.
It's Jones, DeRozan, Caruso, Green, and ball to inbound. Jones cuts, ball finds him.
Good basket cut.
Okay, this is an underneath out of bounds play that we run where the way we're lined up is Alex Caruso and DeMar DeRozan, our wing players are by each other close, and then we have our 4s and 5s standing together close. And really, it's a read. And as you'll watch, DeMar DeRozan has the opportunity to come off this triple screen, or he could curl, he can wrap. We want them to read the defense. So this is a play where DeMar decides to take the screen. He comes all the way off. And as you see, the defense kind of jumps out, and then we're looking to make some reads by keeping the floor open. And there's a slip screen that Derek Jones does a great job reading. Here it is again. Derek's man kind of gets out. He's able to get behind him, and we're able to find the rim for a layup. So everybody's kind of pressed up, and then you don't really know who's coming off the screen. It could be DeMar, it could be Caruso, it could be anybody. So with them lifted, they're making reads of how the defense is guarded. So once Derek saw his man step out a little bit, he realized that there was an open area to cut to the basket. So most teams in that situation defensively are going to press up because you obviously have shooting above the free throw line, and people try to stay defensively connected to their man.
I'm going to trap.
Inbound to Thompson. Thompson fakes, fires, three-pointer. Bang! Klay Thompson from downtown.
So this is a big play for us. This is something we practice all year long, kind of a late game, screen the screener type action.
You can see 39.7 seconds left in the game. We're down to, this is a play that we run a lot.
Klay makes a great play, pump faking and knocking down a big shot. It's important as a coach and as a team to have plays that you can run without having to call a timeout.
Steph was a little bit of a decoy here, you know. You hate to say Steph is a decoy, but sometimes when you have a player as great as him and he commands the type of attention that he does, it can free somebody else up.
Yeah, Klay was the number one option, but there are multiple options. The whole idea behind late game plays is you want to confuse the defense. And if you can set multiple screens, the more screens you set, the more possibility that the defense is going to make a mistake.
But the biggest thing I like about this play is Wiggs' screen. People don't look at Wiggs as a screener. He set a heck of a screen, baby. heck of a screen.
There's some space, you swing that elbow, but in today's game, especially when you make contact, and even if you throw it, the official will call it.
Turnover out of the timeout. Lob it up. Hunter, athletic play.
All right, so we're playing against Miami. Basically, we are running a design for Bogey to come off the weak side, but Trey did a really good job of reading the defense, and he made the right pass. So that was a counter to set ATO that we were running after a timeout. These are things that we work on every single day: execution, giving guys counters, making sure that they understand the counter to the play as well as the play that we are running. So that was a play that was called from the sidelines and during a timeout, and I thought our guys executed it. Bogey did a good job of selling the back screen and forced the defense to freeze and get caught flat-footed for a second, and Trey delivered a pass that was right on time to DeAndre.
So please, whatever.